Howdy, howlers. How's it going? I am Sako Tumi, also known as Cass Voit, and welcome to the Tuesday morning write-in. All right. Hi, cool gamer. Here as always. Thank you for dropping by. I don't expect you to hang out the entire time. Oh my goodness. I think, so I have this groovy timer, and I am thinking I might just hop into a sprint while people are kind of like milling in, and I can like smoke a cigarette and open my files and figure out what the fuck I'm doing. So let us do this sprint in 3, 2, 1, sprint. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Take that break. And welcome, RC Scott. Woo!
What is up, folks? I am a little late.
You are hardly late. It was 2 minutes into the stream, and I was like, let's do a sprint because I need to do stuff.
Yeah, I ended up waking up a little earlier, like, screw it. Get up, get moving.
Right on, right on. Well, it is a pleasure to have you.
Thanks.
And we're going to get shit done this morning. And then later, we're going to not get shit done.
What are you working on?
I have no idea. Probably my Skillshare class.
Nice.
Maybe my tarot cards, because I've been putting that off for like the past week. That's a shame. Or at least the weekend.
You know, I've always had an interest in that, and just kind of blew it off because every time I look in a book with it, like every book would say something different, contradicting the last, and it's like, all right, this is annoying as hell.
Yes.
And I finally, found my own kind of groove, got into it slowly, looking at different things, some magic, stuff like that. And I consider tarot fundamentals if you're learning, any of that kind of stuff. And I've, found a couple of books that are real helpful. I'm like slowly studying between all the other things I'm doing. I'm trying to learn that.
So studying tarot is tricky for that reason, because everybody reads the cards a little differently. And you got to figure out what resonates with you regarding each card. And it's up to you as to whether you want to roll like just justified, or if you want to do reversed as well, which is like double the meanings, right? So, and working on today's Vlogmas, and hello, RC. Woo!
Yo, what up?
Also, Mint Ghost is smashing the like button. I think you. Tell that algorithm that this is the kind of stuff you want to see.
Smash that thumb till you hear the bone snap.
That is the horror writer in you peeking out there for a second.
Yeah, I'm a little dark till I have my coffee.
You're a little dark in general.
A little bit.
And I appreciate that about you.
Thanks. It's good to have people appreciating that instead of getting creeped out. But I'm actually working on a new project today.
Ooh, what you working on?
Well, I'm keeping it under wraps right now, but it kind of hit me on Friday like a bolt of lightning, and
oh, sweet.
It started off as a troll piece because the one few things I noticed as soon as I entered the writing world is watching other writers troll each other in amusing and adorable ways. I think it's my time. It's my time to do it. But the more I'm getting to work on this online, I'm more realizing it's just turning into a psychological horror story. But I will be more forthcoming once I get it all close to complete.
Excellent. I am super hype about it. I am like in the throes of reading No Strings Attached. It is excellent so far. I am super into it.
Thank you.
It is interestingly paced, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, that was the first story I ever wrote. It was like 3 years ago. Actually, over 3 years ago.
Well, for a first story, it's really good.
Thanks. And that story is basically my Blade Runner. I think I rewrote that like 3 times. There's the final cut, the final cut, then the ultimate final cut.
Yeah. That's super cool. I top out at 4 revisions. Beyond 4 revisions, it is a completely different story. It is time to put a fork in it, call it done, and because at that point I might as well just like write a whole new story. It's just time to, and that takes about 8 months. for me to go through all of those revisions. And like beyond that, I'm so like into it that I can't tell what's wrong with it anymore, and I have to hand it off to somebody else.
I try to talk to newer writers about this because, you know, we're all timid about sharing our work, especially when you're new. You know, you don't know if you're good or not. You don't know if this is actual story. You're sharing it with people, strangers mostly, and yeah, you're afraid to be told you're not good, I guess. And you know,
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's a lot of that. You know, or that, or you know, probably ego too. And being so new, you don't want to have those dreams dashed right before you got started. So yeah, there's a lot of thought
Right.
going to that. And I actually, other than no strings attached, I only do about, you know, there's the first draft and the next one because I had the story in my head for so long before I even get it out to paper or screen, whatever you want to call it. But anyways,
I know what you mean.
other than this last one, but like I never outlined before. I would get it all in my head and just slowly get it through onto the word because I treated it like it's going into final edits tomorrow. But
Right.
it had me writing so slow because I would make sure I get the structure right, like as I'm shooting it out. I would have nothing around me to go off of, no notes, not anything, just you know what's in my brain. But it took
That's how I write my
forever.
short stories. Yeah, I totally understand. Like first draft is the final draft, and like, and then I hand it off to the editor.
Right. But yeah, you're talking about like novels, and you know, I ain't up there yet.
No, I'm talking about short stories. I'm talking about like anything like 15,000 words or less. Or 20,000 words or less. I will pants it. I pants my horror stories.
The longest story I've written so far is 21K.
Yeah, I believe it.
I'm baby steps.
Horror books are really hard to write. I think because the pacing takes to short stories so much easier, and like you want to get to the point at just the right juncture in the story, and that would be the midpoint in a novel, right? So like you got to come up with a story big enough, and then on top of that like you got to come up with like subplots, whereas in a short story, what's a plot?
No, other than just what's hinted at, you don't even know about later. But then yeah, the characters, you got to go through their arcs and all that jazz. That's probably one of the main reasons I haven't got there yet. But for horror, especially, I think you got to have all those elements, an interesting story. You got to have investment in the characters because with that genre, most people don't want to stay scared for a long, long time. They want that quick boom, then back to their day. And
Right.
that's for short story. That's what like I've always been drawn to those more, even though I've been a fan of the novels. Like Stephen King's were, you know, like Night Shift, Skeleton Crew, Clive Barker's Books of Blood, Ramsey Campbell's Phantasmagoria collection, you know, all that stuff. Because quick story, well, not to mention also time now. It's like, you know, do I want to read a few chapters or just a quick short story and bam, get on with my day?
Right. It depends on what you want out of the story. Like, I like a lot of dread. I like psychological horror is my jam. I love dread. And that's the hardest to write, I think. You know, like having the dread like span along the book and then little points where it becomes boo. And they have to accelerate in the level of boo like as the book goes on. So like it's a science, it is, when it comes to writing horror.
Yeah, and the whole psychological element of it. My previous releases, you really don't see that too much, but with this new one on Skin Auction, you know, it's about a girl being abducted and sold in trafficking. So it's got to build up that tension, that fear, and then it's not even a horror story yet. So it's just a constant build up for me. And I was like pretty much shrieking a violin and just hitting a high note and keep going, dragging it out. But yeah, we're running out of time, I see.
Let us jog into our next sprint and get shit done. Okay, you heard the timer. Take a break. Boop. How was that sprint for you?
Well, first off, I love that timer ending. I didn't get any words down. I'm doing more research right now. I was just popping up all my windows and getting things in order because it's
Yeah,
psychological horror. I'm going after, not going after, tackling neurological disorders and yeah, just I want the anxiety to be clear on the page, and I want to get it right.
nice.
I don't want to just introduce my own brands of anxiety here because that's I'm adding that too because I'm working on my own shit while I'm writing it.
Sure.
What about you?
I apparently my best friend, well, my former best friend, sent me a Christmas present via Amazon, and I never got it. So I was kind of like asking around the people I live with if it showed up and they grabbed it and wrapped it, or if it was delivered to the wrong house, or because that has happened in the past. So it looks like we have to report it missing. And Mint Ghost got 434 and wrote a short journal entry. Sweet.
Did you use UPS or was it a postal service?
Neither. It was Amazon.
Oh, duh.
Amazon has like a van that comes and delivers Amazon packages.
That's what those things are? No, I'm
Mhm.
kidding. No, well, I've never had a problem with Amazon, but like UPS, postal service, delivery, like grocery delivery when I'm feeling lazy. But yeah,
Oh,
like
DHS is the worst. Holy
yeah, anything state funded.
DHS is like, or DHL. I use it so infrequently that I like can't even remember the full name. Like you're lucky to get your package in one piece if you go with DHL.
Yeah.
Just finished filming my Vlogmas video and now I'm editing it. Awesome. Debbie was penciling a full shot panel, which is awesome. Rachel! Woo!
Rachel!
Thank you for coming. It's so good to see you. What you working on?
So do you consider this lazy if my main character is already kind of wound up at the end of the story? Because
No, I think that's a good place to start.
I know, but I keep getting flashbacks of the film The Shining compared to the novel where, in the movie, he's nuts right at the beginning. Hey, Mr. Ullman. But, in the novel, you get to see it really unfold, but I'm not sure it's going to be a novel or
Actually,
what.
that's a good point. That's a good point. Because you kind of want the reader to commiserate with the main character. So to make them, have them at a baseline at the beginning of the story kind of helps with the connection. And then as the anxiety ramps up, the reader's anxiety ramps up.
True, but I think with mine, it's more like the main character is already anxiety ridden to begin with. It's just more control, and you just see that grasp loosen until at the end it's just outright psychedelic insanity. And with The Shining, yeah, Jack had his problems and all that, and he was trying to keep a lid on it, and going to that hotel started cracking away, and I guess it was slower progress and novel.
Right. Gotta stretch it out, make it more dreadful.
It would be funny if this turned into a novel and say it started as a troll piece. But then again, if you think of literature, I brought this up in a stream last week. How many of us writers are trolls when you think about it? Look at A Tale of Two Cities. Wasn't Charles Dickens just trolling the French?
Yes.
Look at who's the one who wrote American Psycho? Ellis, I think. But anyways, you're just trolling the Wall Street yuppies of the 1980s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Writers take not a genre, but a subsect of people and kind of like exploit all the things that are wrong with it.
Right.
Oh, I still have no idea what the heck I'm doing.
That's me every day. I just wing it and don't let anybody find out.
I submitted my, okay, so like cool news. I got invited to dance at the New Year's Eve event in Richmond it's a big event that I had planned on going to, but I didn't know how I was going to afford it. So me dancing kind of gives me a free ticket and like free drinks, and like I'm kind of beside myself. So I submitted my music. I'm going to pitch the idea of performing more than once. And I don't know if it's going to be the same song or if I can choose different music.
That's awesome. Is it like close by, or you got to travel for it?
I got to travel an hour and a half.
Oh, I ain't bad.
So I'm looking for a place to crash down there so that I don't drive home at 3:00 in the morning. Because that it's not me that I'm worried about. It's the other drivers.
Amateur night? Yeah.
Drunk night.
Yeah.
You know, so I have been on the highway and like someone didn't see my car and tried to merge where I was and totally sideswiped me at like 90 miles an hour.
Oof. Were you okay from it?
I broke my neck.
Ow.
I didn't notice it, but I went to my chiropractor and he was like, "Your neck is broken. How are you conscious right now?" And I was like, I don't know.
I used to know guys who did like, you know, the independent wrestling circuit, and I'd hang out with them drinking and stuff like that. And her one guy was just crying about his shoulder, and I'm just like, all right, dude, I'm sick of hearing your shit. Went to the hospital, got an x-ray. It was like, yeah, it's not your shoulder, dude. You broke your fucking neck.
You broke your fucking neck. Yeah. It's funny because like it wasn't my neck that was hurting. It was like, yeah, like my shoulders, my back. But like I have pain in my back all the fucking time. So like I didn't think twice about it.
Ugh. I get kinks in my neck easily. And
Mm.
like, I always think of like what would be like to, you know, push that the more to a different level of breaking the bone and what that would feel like. And like anytime I see it in a movie, it's like, I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. Yeah.
Or collarbone.
Mm. Who am I? What's going on here? We have a minute and a half until our next sprint. And I better figure out what the hell I'm doing. I have, by submitting this, you agree from this event to promote future events. Okay.
Make sure you read it all, and it's not just some like human centipede party.
I can probably submit another response, but I will talk to the coordinator and see what is up.
That's cool though.
Mm.
For New Year's Eve, I was probably gonna go see Local H. If you heard of that band,
Yeah.
they're from here, and they're gonna be playing the Vic or something like that. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of times through the years, and it's been a while, and it seems like something to do.
Nice. I hope you have fun.
I shall try. But at the same time, you know, going out New Year's Eve in this city, there's, you know, you don't drive. There's a cop at every corner.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that here too. All right. let's jaunt into the third sprint. Yeah, third sprint. All right. That was our third sprint. There we go. I kind of putzed around with Patreon and Kickstarter because I have 43 hours left, 44, 42 hours left on my thing, and I'm only 52%. Yeah. So I don't think I'm going to make it. Which means everybody is refunded, which means I don't get a cent, which means no printing, no nothing.
I think it's time to take it into the extreme ends, accost people in the streets, comic book shops.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know, if you ran up in my face, here, buy my book, I'm like, okay.
Hello, Rita. I got the time all messed up, but I'm here now. That's okay, Rita. Nice to see you.
Rita. So I got 123 words. I would have gotten more, but I went to, highlight and count what I had so far. And for some dumbass reason, my laptop decided to change the background of those highlighted words to yellow. And I had to mess with that. And it started freezing. And bleh.
Bleh. What do you write in? Do you write in Word or
Word?
Yeah. Word is clunky.
Yeah, it would be nice to get it to Times New Roman 12 and have it set there.
You can set your default.
I don't know how to do it.
In your settings.
Default settings. I'll check. I think I tried and it didn't give me an option. It might be the word I have or whatever, but yeah.
Granted, since it's gone subscription, some of the settings are no longer offered.
Oh, well. I have Wavemaker, but that seems like something I'd use for a novel, a bigger project.
Sure. Mint Ghost got 400-ish words. Not sure. I forget where he stopped.
Well done.
If you want to keep going while we're talking, then keep going while we're talking. Oh, I drank all my water. Tragic.
The important part is you drank it. You're more hydrated than you were.
Yes. But it's a opaque cup, so I don't know how much it is until my straw goes. Blah, 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 blah. Who else am I? So right after this stream, which means after this next sprint, I'm going to start a new stream where RC and I are just going to chat and have a good time. And I made the StreamYard available on my server on Discord, which means there is a chance that some people might hop in for shits and giggles. What are we going to talk about? I don't know.
I can keep going on about what we were talking about before for another several hours.
Yeah, probably. I will likely continue to interview you regarding your writing and discussing process and discussing where we're going next. You know what I mean? And especially now that Nano's over and we've had recent releases and where are we going next? Shadow's Lair shared my Kickstarter. Wish I could buy one. Unfortunately, I spent most of my savings last night. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, it's tough all over. People are living paycheck to paycheck, even the more well off.
Mm-hmm. Stop sipping from an empty cup.
I've done it. I can't say anything.
Stop sipping from an empty cup. Lost count of my words, to be honest. I was working on 2 different projects. I don't count words. I count scenes. Well, I have like scenes that I want to accomplish, and I finish the scene. And sometimes that will be a chapter, or sometimes I will split a scene in half and make them 2 chapters.
It's funny you say that because while writing the script for my graphic novel, I really haven't been counting the words, but like the scenes, the pages, because I'm writing that extra slow because I'm learning how to do the sequence panels while I'm doing it. Getting it right in my head as I would while I would be reading a comic.
Right.
So it takes me longer, and I don't even bother counting the damn words because I'll be laboring over a 1 page or 2 page forever, and it's like I might even count that. It'll be a small amount, and I'll be depressed.
Yeah. It adds more stress than it's worth. I was very honest about that on my SM. Support this. I want these. Yes, I appreciate anything. Like, I am super hype that you are sharing it on your social. I'm super. Just posted my first video, which so explains what I did spend all my money on. Wah. See, I relate so much to this. Oh man, I do not sit straight enough.
Yeah, neither do I. I was actually doing that when you started doing it, so yeah. Getting that posture.
Man. Son of a gun. I only count words when I feel I've done well. Right on. I will check at the end of the day how many words I've written, just out of curiosity. Like at what point am I at? Because I aim at like 75K at the end of a book. So I kind of like, chart progress by word count in that regard. But like as far as like 100 words there, 400 words here, like I don't do that. I got some words. Yeah.
Yep. I used to be really stubborn about that because I'd either in the chat or I'd go on sprints, and I'd be around these pros that have been at it for years, and they're just smoking me in the like 20 minutes, like 900 words, and it's like I got 30. And like to the point where
people like Caro who gets like 1,000 words in a 20-minute sprint.
Yes, and she has tried to get me up to that. I had to find my own way, but like she puts like a billion outlines everywhere. Like she's a plotter.
Yeah, she's a plotter.
Mega plotter.
Yeah. And a fast typer.
Yeah, that's another thing. If I had more of a job where I'm on a keyboard, I'd probably go a little faster. But no, I do the hard work, breaking my hands, makes it slower to type.
Because I'm revolving a lot I'm doing. So there's not really a word count to be had. It's already written. I'm just trying to figure out all the moving parts. John, that is the joy of revising, is you figure out what needs to change and like what needs to be omitted and what needs to be added, and it just, there are too many moving parts to count words.
Yeah, and revisions, like I just revised my novella, and going back to it, I was like, I thought I had wrote a badass story, and I'll be like, oh, this is terrible. Oh, look at that scene right there. Oh, look at that awkward phrasing. And when I got done with it, it's like, I had to come back, a little better than when I wrote it, bring that more experience into it.
Yeah. I definitely feel that. Well, we have like 5 seconds until our last sprint. Let's do this. pop them knuckles, and get back to work. Okie dokie. I'm going to get rid of this timer. And I'm going to start wrapping up because I got a couple of things I kind of want to do before the chat. I have put a link to the chatty things, and Mint Ghost got some fruit and a grain bar, and watched the rest of a YouTube video where the person adopts Donna Chart's writing routine, which is pretty cool, and wrote a couple more words, which is awesome. Also, if you are looking for more sprints, there is a tiny URL. I couldn't find it, but it is also down in the description, or you can click this thing and it will take you to the spreadsheet. Shadow's Lair got 8 words. You know what? Those are 8 words you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. So
1 word is a victory.
1 word is a victory. I agree. If you liked this video at any point, I encourage you to hit the like button if you haven't already. If you would like to see more streams like this one, you might want to subscribe and maybe even ring that bell on the off chance that YouTube actually notifies you when I go live. And we will catch you guys in like 5 minutes.